Hello. Tell me when I'm live.
All right. You're live.
Hello, everyone. Are we live? My wife said I'm alive, so that's a good sign.
You're alive.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining me in on this Sunday night. I am speaking to a camera, so I'm sure there's some people out there. And thank you so much for joining me and taking a little bit of your Sunday evenings to share this perspective reveal here. I've been planning this album for a long time, and tonight's finally the night I can share it with you. So I'm really excited, and I thought we'd just kick it off right away with some music. And the first single off the album that debuted and is on radio right now and picking up speed, and it's called "Keep Going." And here's the accompanying video for it. So enjoy, and let's get this listening party started. Thanks so much for joining us. And we're back. Hello. Hope you enjoyed that first sampling, the first track, the title track off the album, the first single. keep going. And we're going to enjoy this little listening event here, this tune in live stream. Thanks again for being here. I'm Rob Tardik, and we're launching the new album tonight, Perspective. And there you go. Finally have the copies. Put that in the camera there. I'm looking. There we go. And what we'll be doing, we'll be sharing the images of the album shortly with you, take a closer peek, and who played the part in this album. And we're going to kind of go down track by track and keep this under 24 hours. So hopefully you have a little bit of time to spend with us and take the day off work tomorrow. No, I'm kidding. And we're going to start really with the gentleman that I co-produced and co-wrote this most of the project with, and his name is Steve Oliver. He's a wonderful producer and guitarist, and just a wonderful artist who's based out of Southern California. And we got together last year, starting actually in 2023. Actually, we got together in September 2023 when I was on tour playing Catalina Island and Spags and some shows in Vancouver as well. And we got together to start the planting the seeds. I had some ideas for an album, the Perspective Project. And by the time we got back to 2024, by that time rolled around in the spring, I was doing a lot of writing over the winter to get that going. And what happened there was we got together by the summer and started the flights and flying back and forth to Palm Springs, where Steve lives. And he also with his partner as well. She lives in Vancouver. So I was flying back and forth, I think 5 times. I went once, and again, September 2023, and 4 more times last year while working in a wonderful studio in Brampton. I'll talk here and from home. And we'll show a clip here of me and Steve at the Palm Springs airport. When I arrived there the first time, Steve picked me up, and it was really.
I'm bouncing all over the place with pictures. Sorry, everybody. Okay, now we're back to Palm Springs.
Oh, okay. My wife's ahead of me with because I'm watching a little clip here. I have my notes, hon. So, so we went to Palm Springs, and that's where we started. And I met Steve at the airport, and he's just a pure joy. It was such a positive soul. So we had such a great time working on that album together. And my sweetheart is Kim Possible's womaning the other side of the technology, where I don't have the strengths. I'm more the creative, and she is also creative, but really good with technology. So I think she's probably shown the picture of the Palm Springs arrival. And then there's some great studio shots that I wanted to show you guys how we worked behind the scenes. Some of the clips she's showing there is up in the studio, with the guitars laying down where we're taking breaks, and a great shot of his wonderful studio in Vancouver and in Palm Springs. So where the majority of the music was written, there was a couple songs, like I said, I'll talk about coming up soon in Brampton with another dear friend of mine. We worked on some tunes there as well. But again, me and Steve, we co-wrote and produced much of the CD together, and remotely, and again, while I was there. So we had some wonderful instances together where it was just spur of the moment, and also the great moment when this arrived. This was the Kim Possible guitar, and I've showcased this before, but this was the guitar that kind of I picked up in that September. I picked up this quite a long time ago, and I surprised Kim. There's a video reveal on our websites, but this is the guitar I've been playing here and holding tonight, close to my heart as she is. And I thought that would be a good instrument here in my studio to showcase to you guys along with the CD. And then moving into kind of the next song we're going to listen to, which is a song called Woke Up. But to preface that, the Keep Going song is about that. When life throws you obstacles, we just got to keep going, especially the times we're in right now. We just got to keep going. That's the main goal of that song, and help myself. This album, to give perspective, is a kind of a love letter, our story of me and Kim's ever since 2020. An incident we had in our lives that many of you have already probably know about. We don't need to repeat that, the darkness, but there was so much light and good that came out of it in our lives. But there was a good portion of healing through, the various traumas that we each went through. And I did release some music on my diversity series, and thanks for those who supported diversity. And there was a whole album's worth of music there over the 4 volumes. I had released 12 songs. But it was really time for me to get back to, radio and promoting my music and art, and getting back to eventually touring and performing. So that's where, because I was really at home a lot during, obviously that was a time of COVID, and we were a time of healing. So I kept releasing music for my own expressive therapy, and it was cathartic for me that's my voice, to play through music. And finally in 2023, I said, yeah, I got to start getting, I had a lot of ideas for new albums. So 2024 was the whole year, and almost a year and a third was spent recording this tune, this album. And here we are sharing it with you tonight. So keep going was really my mantra. Keep going, keep pushing for me and Kim. We had to keep going in our lives, even when we were at the darkest and most, really bad time in our lives. So we keep going. I'm hopefully that message resonates. And that video really shows you. I love that video where you go through the waves, you're going through the forests and the mountains and trudging through the snow. It's just showing you how we keep going. And then you can see somewhere the pictures always open up to light and the brightness and a rainbow after the showers. And so sometimes in life we don't see the path, but it's definitely there. We just got to keep going through whatever obstacles and hurdles and bridges and traumas in our life. So, and that lead me into the next tune, which it's going to be called Woke Up. We're going to listen to, and let's take a listen to this tune, and I'll give you a little bit of the backstory of this tune, co-written or co-produced, with my buddy Charles DiRamondo here in Brampton, and featuring the great, amazing talent Carson Freeman on the saxophone. So enjoy Woke Up.
With a new perspective,
hope you enjoy that tune. Woke up. That's a good funky tune, and the key of B dominant for those B7 is the major chord there, and a little transposition to D7. So for those of you who are trying to keep track of the musical aspect of it, so that was a great tune, and that was with again my good friend Charles Duramundo. I think Kim showed the picture of him and Carson in the studio. I'm just looking at my little list here of picks and stuff like that. So, yeah, we had a really good time there as well, and it was built off that. Sometimes songs are just built off a riff. When I had that, that little riff. That was the kind of the riff that fueled that first part of the song to get that funky flavor. And Woke Up is literally, this song is really a story about myself. Quickly before we go on to the next tune, is I've really become a different human being, and have, again, my perspective in life has changed completely since again, July 28, 2020, and the years of the healing after that. And I've completely, my brain has been rewired in all good ways, not that it was bad before, but I'm just more, like I said, I've just been woken up to so many different things in my life that I'm aware of, more conscious of, and that I really try to improve my life. I'm still got a long way to go, that is for sure. But that song was really kind of a song for me. It's a reflective song of myself. I've woke up and become a different person through the last 3-4 years of my life.
We've got some comments on here, honey. Do you want me to read them to you?
Sure, if there's some comments. Yeah, thanks, folks. I don't see the comments. Kim's handling all those, just so you know. So I'm just looking at a camera here.
So we've got applause from Deborah Doherty. She's a friend of
thank
mine
you, Deborah.
who's on the call because there's a song coming up for her. And Rick Edwards, our dear friend,
hey,
Rick Edwards.
Hey, good. Thanks, Rick, for joining in.
He said, "Wow, what a toe tapper that is." Yeah, we've got Michael Professorski, your website.
Hey, the guy who helped put all this together.
He's just an amazing friend of
yeah,
ours.
He puts all the websites, and you can purchase the album starting tonight, and that's thanks to Michael for my usual last minute requests. And that's me. That's typical. He must be like, this guy. But that's typically how I roll.
And we've got a Backroads of Alberta. This is Bob. Great
nice
tune. That was from Keep Going. Said hello from Edmonton.
Thank you so much,
awesome. Bob. And we've got Deb and Jim from the YWCA who sat at our table at a recent fundraiser. So,
that's so nice. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the first two tracks. We're going to keep the music going, and this next tune is a real. It's a very, again, the title it needs an explanation. There's no way I cannot explain this song to people, and this song. Again, is in the key of F major, or relative minor, D minor, for those of you who are keeping track. The first one was in G minor, B flat, B positive. B positive. That's another one. I'm going back to this one. Keep going.
Oh my God, the numbers are declining. Owen's on now too.
Yeah. No one wants to figure out the keys of these songs. But I'm Okay is the next track, and this is a really deeply touching song to me, because when I was in the hospital, when we had this traumatic event that happened to my sweetheart, and we didn't know from day to day what was going on, and finally when she was out of the darkest part, where it was literally life and death, and that's no understatement there, as she was still in the hospital for those months, I kept hearing something whispering. She kept whispering something, and at first she couldn't speak, and with the tracheotomy, and it was just without getting into all that, but she kept saying something as she was trying to push herself, whether out of the bed or just to go to the washroom, or just couldn't walk. And finally I determined what she was saying was, "I'm okay." And she kept whispering it, and it was almost like on repeat, like kind of like a Groundhog Day. It was like, "I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay." It was like a mantra to push herself forward. And right away, it was so touching to me, and I'm going to keep it together here. But yeah, for me, that was really impactful. And for her, it was supremely, that was her strength. She found that to keep going, literally to keep going. And the whole album, all the tracks are all tied together. That's why this is it's not a concept album, but it's a very deeply personal love letter to me and Kim, and to ourselves, and what we experienced, and sharing it through my music. And I'm okay. Hope you enjoy this tune. And that's where the backstory of this song is. So I wanted something that just kind of modes along. This is not a high energy song or a ballad. It needed to just have a certain rhythm and a flow. And the melody, I was really careful with Steve and I when I produced the song to kind of evoke that image of I'm okay. I'm going, taking it things every day, step by step, literally step by step, breath by breath for her. So here's a song called I'm Okay. And this is, of course, another one dedicated to my sweetheart. You're getting quite the list of songs I've written for you. So
Here
hope
we
you
go.
enjoy this one.
I'm okay. Enjoy, Deborah.
Yeah.
Back with comments. I put the
and we're back
on.
with comments.
I know.
Well, hello everyone who's just joining in here, and thanks for Kim again to keep me on track on the comments. I don't see them where I'm downstairs in my studio, but I appreciate. She mentioned some real
Owen
amazing
here and Steve Oliver.
Owen, hello, Owen. How are you doing, bud? Thanks for being here. And Steve, of course, the co-producer, the other writer, the my second half. This, we've been talking about Steve. Thanks so much for being here, bud. That's much gratitude. We've been I've been praising the amazing, the nerding up party we do together, and showing people the album that we've created together here. Here's perspective. Finally, we got the physical copy, Steve. It's done, and thank you for being here, bud. Love you, and I couldn't have done it without you and all the traveling back and forth. We had such a good time in Vancouver and Palm Springs, and I showed some clips and some photos earlier of your studio. Um, and I was going to show now with my sweetheart helping woman the tech stuff. I'm going to pull the CD out here, and the CD, that's the actual disc from the cover, but she's going to actually show all the graphics. I thought we'd show the graphics before we play the next song. And there's some really deeply meaningful pictures here, and everything here. I wanted to explain about the graphics and the images on all these pictures. I'm assuming you're looking at right now.
I've got slowly. The front one on right now.
Yeah, so that is exactly, that's me. Kim took that picture of me overlooking beautiful Lake Ontario, right? Just a very short stone's throw away from our townhouse here in southern Whitby, where all the photos are taken right around our home in the beautiful. We just live in a really beautiful part right by the lake. Of the city, and we just have tons of walking paths and beautiful lakes and rocks, and as you can see, in beaches, and it's a very unique little spot we're in here. So we really love it, and we make use of it every day, and that's where my perspective is, and where like through the whole healing and everything we've been through. And coming here has really provided us a lot of peace, and we could move forward to create this album perspective. It took almost 4 years for me to write this album, and like I said, I did release Diversity, the best of, with a bunch of new albums with the songs, but really this is a true personal album of a collective of these 11 tracks, and we had so many beautiful images. I know there's one of Kim. I don't know if you can see that one. There's one. The other side. That's a beautiful image of her perspective, looking out over the lake, and just, thinking of, her life and what we've been through. And I thought that image captured it so well. And then perspective. And this is a beautiful bike path. Obviously it's blurred a little bit by my amazing web guy, Michael Profesorski. He put a picture of me, but this is a beautiful bike path. This picture was taken me while I was riding my bike. And I snapped the picture on my phone while I was riding a bike. And again, just right by your home, a beautiful bike path right by the park in Whitby. And this picture here, quickly, is the center is a great performing shot of me at, again, the closest venue I think I've ever played to in my life. It's literally just over here. There's a window. It's like right outside, maybe like about half a not even that. So it's a Station Gallery, and thanks to Natasha and everybody at Station Gallery I always play there, and we sell out. We have a wonderful show, and I got another one in August coming up. You can check on my website. And this picture, again, is very dear, again, to me and to Kim. Of course, that's Kim's hand holding a candle. And I guess you're seeing the pictures much better than on the...
Yes, they are.
So that picture is actually of Kim, and that is the day, my first wife, Julie Rose, and who obviously I have not obviously, but I have two beautiful sons, Justin and Matthew. That was the actual time she passed. She had an assisted... when she was struggling with cancer, and it was the time we knew the time. It was 2:00 on that Sunday, November 7th, and we sat outside by the lake near our house with a candle. And she loved the water and sunshine and traveling, so this was I wanted this picture to be, remembered of her and how we were there together, me and Kim, and the women in my life. Her and Kim are the main two relationships I've ever had in my life, and they've been through a lot. I'll have to say, but. We got to keep going. And unfortunately for Julie, that wasn't the case, but we remember her and respect. And, I'll always have that place in my heart for her. And my two sons obviously are here, and they're the gifts we have to share from her. And then with Kim, everything we've been through, this album, again, is all these images are really supporting that. And then, of course, you're looking at the image on the back, they're all perspective shots too, because the album is my perspective. So every image I wanted to have a perspective of something, like a perspective of the scenery, a perspective of the moment when, like I said, when Julie passed, a perspective of me playing live with the guitar in my hand in front of the audience, a perspective of Kim overlooking Lake Ontario and thinking things. And anyway, you get the point here. But this last picture, I guess you can see it on the clip, is the beautiful perspective picture of just literally, again, just steps outside our house. There's a beautiful forest there in the fall, and I thought the fall would be when I took all these pictures, by the way, because that's a time for change, a time for moving forward in our lives and to keep going to the winter coming up here, and we had a tough winter here in Toronto. And the keep going image, the single image that you've probably seen or will see, is an icy, snowy day when we didn't want to go out for a walk, and we were homebound and hibernating. But I said, and Kim always said, let's just go for a walk, and she's always up for a walk, and I'm so blessed to be able to walk with her. So we went on a really cold day in December, and it was icy and snow everywhere. And again, I took that picture of the perspective of that moment. I said, "Oh, this is a great picture." So that made the single "Keep Going." So when you're looking at that song, "Keep Going," the single picture that's another picture. So everything's around our home. All the pictures were taken right around here. So I'm going to move on to another song, but I wanted to give you a little bit of there you go, the album. And again, you can order these off my website starting tonight. 1 month for my RT for all you beautiful fans and friends who are here joining me. You can order it a month before. May 16th is the actual global release streaming date, and for everyone else. But I'm doing this specially online. I'm giving you a pick. You can have one of my guitar picks here, the Rob Tardik pick. In the camera, the Balance, Energy, Laughter, Love pick. And I'll be personally signing everyone for all the people. And yeah, and I got hot sauce as well. A quick little plug for the hot sauce. Maybe that's not in the order we planned it, but all these little merchandise items. There's 4 different types of heat.
He's going off script, people.
I'm plugging it, but that's okay. We'll come back to the
song. Next
song. Here we go, folks. This is another song again that is a ballad, and it's dedicated to Kim. It's called "Unbroken," and that's how she's been an unbroken spirit. Just keeps going, gets up. She's okay, no matter what she's in. But this is a really meaningful tune that me and Steve put together and wrote, and thank him for that. And let's listen to "Unbroken" and dedicate it to the spirit of Kim Possible. jamming along to that one myself. Well, I hope you enjoy that tune. That's, again, a really emotional tune, and to the spirit of my sweetheart, and how she remains unbroken. And I thought that was a really nice tune to feature here on the album. We're going right through the album right now. We're going to keep the music going. This next song, the next two, there's a little prelude, a little short little prelude we're going to listen to, and it was based on a little classical riff that I was playing. It was kind of like. I was goofing around that little phrase, and that's how this song was born. And the song is called "Evolve." And again, just like the song "Woke Up," where it's me kind of waking up as a man in this body and trying to be much better in this body than I've been, and just with a new perspective and new light. The tune "Evolve," and this is one of my wife's favorites on the album as well. It's a real high energy, up tempo Latin tune that's going to come in after the prelude. And it's about me evolving, and of us all. We have to keep evolving, changing, and growing. And again, you can see the keep going and the themes in the album, how they all tie together. So check out this tune. It's called the Prelude in E minor, for those keeping track of the keys. And the tune "Evolve" will follow. So hope you enjoy these two tunes. Loved ones. I got to practice a lot to get these under my fingers. There'll be a good one for us to play live with the band. There you go. I think we're all going to evolve a little bit after that tune in a good way
My
and move
favorite. I
forward
was like totally dancing to that.
and keep going.
Not
Yeah, I
dancing,
think
kind of grooving. Grooving.
I think the people online didn't see how my sweetheart was dancing to that one. So, and that's a beautiful
Oh,
blessing in my life to see her dance. And I'm very,
that
again, I'd be very
means
grateful for that. And that's what this
yeah.
album perspective is really celebrating us both, kind of our love letter to us, and again, helping move the world through music and helping people in their own ways through whatever you're going through. And hopefully, my music can help move you forward day by day, keep you going, and just bring joy to your life. And that's where it's kind of leading to the next tune. The next tune is features a wonderful, wonderful saxophone player named Wally Larson, and he lives very close to Steve. Him and Steve are good buds, and I've known Wally for years, and they get to hang out with each other in Southern California, where he's up in Banning in the mountains, and it's a little bit over from Palm Springs, where Steve is. And it's been a Canadian contingency because Steve as well is has Canadian ties and roots, and Wally, of course, and of course you heard Gabriel Mark Hasselbach. I forgot to mention my dear friend Gabriel, who played on the track when you heard "I'm Okay." And again, so I have the Canadian the group here. We're supporting it, and they've been wonderful in my life. And of course, Carson Freeman, the saxophonist, and Charles DeRamondo, the wonderful producer. On the last tune, you can hear Perspective, and using his studio, all my dear Canadian friends. And then, of course, there's a lot of great U.S. players on this. Tony Moore, shout out goes to Tony Moore for playing the drums on this album and on some of the tracks. It's just wonderful to have Tony on this project as well. So I'm very, very grateful to the players who helped with this album and project, and Marcello and Curtis were involved as well at some points in the album. So there was just a lot of great people involved in this project. And this song, "You Bring Me Joy," is exactly about that. Again, it's just who brings me joy in my life, whether it's Kim or my parents or my guys, just family, my music, driving my car. All these things bring me joy in my life, and teaching, and of course music and performing bring me so much joy. But what brings you joy in your life? So hopefully you enjoy this tune featuring Mr. Wally Larson on the tenor saxophone. What a tone he gets as well. So hopefully you enjoy this tune. Hey, there you go. I was just jamming along with that tune here. It's gonna be funny when I go back to all my shows. I have to relearn all these songs as all us artists do. When we go back and play them, a lot of the stuff, the magic happens in the studio. So hopefully enjoy that tune. That's gonna be another radio single. And I gotta give a shout out to Jason Gorov in Las Vegas, Nevada, for promoting "Keep Going." He's a wonderful. I've been with Jason for a long time for my billboard and kind of like radio charting, putting me up my radio tracker, I guess, promoter. So wonderful guy, and shout out to him and his dad Cliff and his family. And so that tune again featured Mr. Wally Larson, just a real good a song. You know, what brings you joy in life. So I really enjoy that one, and that was on an electric guitar. Actually, we played in Steve's. We showed some photos of the studio earlier, and that was done on an electric guitar. I can't see it on my shots. I got tons of equipment here. I did have one question from John. A friend of mine from I saw an email come through, and he was mentioning what are the speakers I'm using. I'm going to quickly just mention those are Roland digital monitors. I've had those for years, and I don't know. You can't see I don't know. There's just a big Boss Katana artist album here. I got more Roland speakers here, my PA speakers, and I don't know. There's a bunch of guitars around everywhere. So anyway, I can't upset my camera shots because then I'll lose all you. But those are the speakers what I'm using there, and hopefully I think that answered John's questions there. Just let me double check here before we go on to the next track here. And I hope you enjoyed that one. Just looking at my I can't find that email now. So sorry about that, folks.
Can I share some comments with you?
Yeah, of course. Let's share some comments. Okay. I was trying to find one myself on my laptop here.
Whoops. Okay, so we've got, oh my goodness, there's so many. Steve was said you're such an amazing guitarist, which is so true.
Well, that is mutual respect there for Steve.
Wally Larson and Rob, great Canadian buddies, and me too. Hee. This tune is so funky. Love it. That was Steve. And he said, this is a single. You bring me joy as a single. Definitely. Frank says, can't wait to see your live shows. And Rick says, FYI, couldn't wait. Just placed my order. All worked fine.
Oh, awesome. Good to know that the website. Thank you, Michael. And thank you, Rick, for being the first order of the new album online. I appreciate that. And of course, for those of you out there who will be watching this maybe in a day or a week or a month or a year, it's going to be on my YouTube channel, so you can watch this stream and listen to all these songs. And again, there's clips will be available on my website to sample on all my albums and all the tracks on my album. And hopefully you can support that. And us artists, that's the way. Still need CDs, folks. We still need to sell some physical product. And like I said, I got the hot sauce going here, Sip and Salsa. Quick little plug. Brand new, thanks to Jeff Salem, the gentleman who's going to play on the last tune you're going to hear in Perspective. And thanks, big shout out to Jeff for always helping me create these beautiful hot sauces. And they're all on my website as well, from medium to extreme, blow your mind. All flavorful, all natural, organic. Enjoy it. So moving forward, hope you've been enjoying this live stream of Perspective, the new album. And here it is. And Kim's been showing all sorts of photos. This next tune is really another Latin tune. You know myself. I've followed this is my 11th album as under Rob Tardik, and La Fuerza means force. And again, this is another song that defines Kim, and she is a force. She's a force of nature. Everything that she's gone through to survive such life-altering experience, and to come out stronger and unbroken. And like I said, and just taking her life back and finding what her passions in life and helping others. She's helping so many other women who've been in, very unfortunate and traumatic instances. And she's giving back and helping connect with the community women, providing strength and resilience and giving them ways to keep going and persevere through tough times in their lives. So just amazing work. And again, this tune is kind of like the force, the keep going in life. You need that force within you to keep going and persevering. So again, hope you enjoy the tune, a Latin-inspired tune. It's kind of a Latin anthem called La Fuerza, Force. Hope you enjoy this one. Thank you for listening. jamming along at home with you guys, folks. Thank you very much. La Fuerza Force. Love that one. I love the Latin, the Spanish, the energy of it. So there's a lot of tunes on the album have a lot of energy and force to move them forward and to keep going. And again, tie everything together in this perspective album. Thank you so much for listening.
Deborah
Sure.
said, Deborah says, may the fuerza be with you. I don't know say more.
Absolutely. And with you, Deborah.
And Steve says, Rob is so good on Spanish guitar. We had fun on this song. Oh
my God, Steve. Thanks, bud. Love you. And thanks for tuning in and all your help with this and co-writing these songs. And we had just a wonderful time together. And so again, Steve is Oliver. Check his music out on, if you're not familiar with Steve Oliver, he's just an amazing human being, an amazing artist, producer. He does it all. And he's just a wonderful human being. So, yeah, I can't say enough about it. And this is our third album together, if you can believe, and we'll do more. So we've done a lot of stuff, me and Steve. There's a lot of students with me and my dear friend Steve Oliver. And another one we're going to do
Michael
together.
Professorski says the guitar is perfectly in tune. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Because maybe not that. It's just the guitar is in tune. He said.
Well, that's good that my guitar's in tune.
Yeah, because you know that OCD-ness of my husband. Okay, sorry, you were going to introduce the next song.
Well, I was going to introduce the next song, and actually with Steve, this is a good story. This song actually, if Steve's still on there, this next tune is called Day by Day. And again, it's really a song that is another slow one. We've had a couple. We had Unbroken, which is kind of mid-tempo tune about, Kim's spirit and fighting for her life and fighting for others now and building resilience and strength for other people. Day by Day is a tune just like that right now. Keep going. We got to go day by day with everything going on in the world, folks. And, just find your joy and your passion in life through music or whatever. Your expressive therapy, for me, it's mine. Find yours and find a healthy distraction in your life like this. Hopefully this hour's been or just over. And Day by Day is a tune that literally we started off in Steve's garage in Palm Springs. And we were trying out, the backstory is funny because we were just trying out a PA system. He has this really cool, you can't see my PA because it's in the distance here, but he has those cool column speakers. Anyway, I wanted to hear them. So Steve's jamming in the garage at his place, and he's got a whole big rehearsal place in his garage. His garage is huge. And he comes up with this riff. He starts jamming on this chord progression. And the next thing you know, I'm like, this melody just came to me, and it was like a one take. We literally played through the whole thing in the garage, and hey, boom, we went right into the studio shortly after that and just recorded the song. So it was kind of like a second by second, minute by minute song. It was a very special song with me and Steve. Just two instruments, two guitars playing and feeding off each other, and then later you can see how the instruments will build in this track. It's kind of like we built the song day by day. You start off one day and you go into the next. And that's how we really got to face our lives. And, our whatever you believe, your joy in your life is right here in this second. So I appreciate everybody for being here with this. So enjoy this tune with me. And again, with me and Steve jamming on a tune that we co-wrote called Day by Day. All right. I think we're back, hun. Is that good? We're
Yes,
back?
yes, you're back. You're back to
Oh,
porn.
well, I hope you enjoy that tune. That's the most chill song on the album, but we needed a break, and sometimes day by day we just go along. It doesn't have to be every day a high energy, super crazy day. We need some days that are chill, and we just move forward inch by inch, millimeter, day by day, hour by hour. So that really, as you can see, that tune kind of built from the onset, from the beginning until that, and the percussion and the bass and all that. So again, just a wonderful tune. I'm looking forward to playing live and really setting a mood, and it's a vibe. A lot of these songs are a vibe and a mood. And there was a few
And
pictures I was going to show before we go on to the last.
can,
We have two more songs left, and that's it.
can
There was a
I
couple.
before you switch? Can I just tell
Yes,
you something funny Rick said? He said,
sure.
much more soothing than the Doug and the Slugs version, which I also like. Doug and the Slugs, Day by Day. Do you remember that song?
Oh yeah, day by day,
Oh my,
that's a
oh my
little
God.
longer. Yep,
Yes. Oh,
and
now we
another
should bring that
Canadian band,
back
I
to
think.
back. Yeah.
But we have some cool little outtake pictures, Kim. You want to show those a couple minutes before we set up this next tune? There was a couple of pictures that I will be making vinyl. I want to do a vinyl copy of this album, so that hopefully by the spring, late spring, summer, I'll be able to produce something like that sometime this year. And there'll be some more images on the album. We didn't get a chance. There's only 6 panels on a disc. You can only fit. This is a 6 panel, and kind of ran out of pics. But there, Kim's probably showing you right now. There's some really nice pictures of our landscape around our home, where I had other beautiful pictures and images, my perspective images of what I was seeing on a day-to-day basis in fall when I took all these pictures. Really, literally last October. Um, this picture here, literally, I'm just on my way to teach music, and I stopped my car, grabbed my guitar, and I had the Kim's guitar. I grabbed it, put it up against a tree, and I took a bunch of photos. And this one made the back of the seat. And I just love the perspective of this picture, and again that guitar. So yeah. So hopefully you saw a few other pictures that didn't make the album art, but I'll be posting those as well over time with new upcoming singles. So this next tune, again, is just another positive tune to lift your spirit, lift your soul, just bring you some more joy to your life. It doesn't need more introduction than that. It's a great tune, again, titled Lift. Hope you enjoy this one. we're back. I was just trying to rip along with that last quick rum there. I gotta relearn all those licks. Well, we're almost at the end, folks. I hope you really enjoyed that tune. Again, there was the Canadian trifecta there with, of course, my co-writer and co-producer engineer Steve Oliver playing the killer bass. Steve is such a groove guy. He's got so musical. It's pouring out of. He's an artist. He's a creative. That's why we get along so well. We have kind of our recording and nerd love fest at his place, and I got a great tribute to him on the album. He'll be reading when I get him a copy, and yeah, killer bass is always on all these songs, and we split up the duties on a couple songs. There was one song, "Woke Up." I think I did the bass, but Steve's just such a great bass player on all these tracks, and we love all the grooves, and it's been really fun working with, and of course Wally Larson. I'm saying sorry was the other person on that track. So again, that featured Wally Larson, who has that unmistakable tenor sax tone, such a breathy, beautiful tone. You can tell Wally, and of course Carson earlier on "Woke Up," and Gabriel Mark Hasselbach and Wally on the other song as well. So yeah, it's been a real joy, and I'm going to probably just wrap up. We're going to we're going to finish off with this one more song. It's titled "Perspective," and it's a really a great song. And there was a slide I wanted to show from a book that my wife was, and I've kind of really loved this. What it says, it's called "What the Road Said," and there's a couple slides, hon, you could show, and basically it was keep going. You know, the name of the new single. You know, when life throws you obstacles, when a bridge is too far to cross, a mountain too high, river too wide, you have trauma. What are you having in your life? Keep going, and that's the theme of this album. Perspective, my perspective, like how I kept going and day by day, and just made every day, you know, something, and to move forward in our life. So hopefully this album can inspire you to do the same, to keep going. Music moves us, brings us joy in our lives, and again, for me, it's really my expressive therapy. And find yours, find your joy and passion, and it's a good life. It's really good. We have a lot to be grateful and much gratitude for in life. So this last tune, "Perspective," recorded right here in Brampton, Ontario, with my buddy Charles DeRamundo and I. Charles played the beautiful piano parts on this one, and it's a really nice. It's kind of like a Latin jazz kind of bossa nova tune. You know, lots of nice big chords, and hope you enjoyed. And I wanted to thank my sweetheart Kim for helping with all the technology, and all of you joining here tonight. Thank you so much for sharing just over an hour and a half, hour and 50 minutes or so, for being here. And if you couldn't make it tonight, it'll be up on my YouTube channel. You can watch it again. And thanks for your support of Perspective. And you can buy the album now. It's live. It's ready to go. And before the initial the global release, you can get your own signed copy with me and a little cool guitar pick from myself. Big thanks to Steve Oliver for sticking around. Love you, man. Look forward to our next adventures together and making music. Thank you so much for being a part of this album and creating this. And again, to all of you, thanks so much. We're going to finish off with this nice tune to chillax on a Sunday night. It's a perfect song titled "Perspective." All the best to you. And till next time, be positive.